Hello there and welcome back to Building the Boys. We now have issue 64 of Hachette's Building Izzy Doll's House. In this one, we will be, it's a bit of a weird one, this one, in the sequence that we're doing it, because we're papering the final wall of Ariel's bathroom, and on the other side of it will be the first wall of the Aristocats' music room. So it's our first taste of wallpaper for the Aristocats. Now, what's unusual about this one is we're not going to use it. So in 65, we're going to put all the walls in, but we're not going to put this wall in. We also add a beam to this one that we don't have to take off. We're using it purely to line the wallpaper up at this point. But then later on, they're going to ask us to put it straight back on again. So in theory, you could just attach it now. But I'm going to stick to the instructions, do it in the order they're asking us to do it. So it's all a bit weird. We're going to make this one. We're not going to use it until next month. So this isn't going to go in with the installation of everything else. But I think maybe we could use it to support those outer walls. So we'll take a look when we get to that. We do receive some very cute pieces for the house in this one as well. We receive a globe for Beauty and the Beast room, along with a rug for Beauty and the Beast room. It's a very lovely rug, and it's got some little Easter eggs in it, which we'll take a look at. So nothing too complicated about this one. I will say this, make sure you've got very clean hands, because the Aristocats wallpaper is very white, and if you start laying it down, it is not going to be forgiving wallpaper. It really isn't. So, yeah, nice clean hands. But let's get going. Let's take a look at the pretty parts, and then we'll do the build. So here is the furniture we received with this issue. This is the rug, and this is really rather lovely. It's very ornate. It's very pretty. I really like this rug. I think it's one of my favourites, all the ones they've given us. But as you can see, we have the roses there, where if you know your Beauty and the Beast, you know the significance of this rose. It's lovely. It's really nice. I really like this. I do hate this. Fortunately, our old friend Ken sent us some felt backing, which is definitely going to be used for this. I hate kind of how exposed this is on this side. I know you're not going to see it, but it's more, I get concerned about one of these threads catching, pulling, and destroying the rug. So, yeah, we'll definitely be felt backing that one. The other piece we get is this. So we get a globe for Ariel's room. As we know, Belle, sorry. We know Belle was all about her education and knowledge and learning about the world, so it's very cute to have, and also spins. So it's a working globe. I did have a look around for it. I can't find us. I can't find England on there anywhere. And I do question what some of these countries are, unless this thing's upside down. But there's some very weird shapes on here. But what a lovely thing. I think that's really nice. I think that works. Lovely. So what we're going to do is bring this wall up, and we're going to start papering. So this is the wall we get. Now, this side with the door further to the left is the Ariel side. This side with the marks on it and the number 5 is the Aristocats side. So if you can see the lines and the 5, Aristocats side, this side, Little Mermaid side. So the paper in the mermaid side, really easy. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our paper here, we're going to line it up to the edges here, and we're going to lay it out. That's it. That's all we've got to do with this one, and then we're going to cut the door out. So nice and easy. I'm going to prep the wallpaper, and then we'll get this laid. Okay, so we have our wallpaper prepared. We're going to line this up. So we're going to take a little extra time at the beginning just to line up correctly, and then it just goes once we find the sweet spot. There's very little in the ways of give at the top and bottom on this one, so I want to get this as accurate as possible. Is that right? Well, we're going. Right. Whoop. And there we are. So we're going to smooth this one down, and then we're going to trim the door out. Okay, so that's our wall papered. Now we're going to trim the doorway out. So letting our knife do the work. Again down here. all the way down. Now again, just like your windows, don't panic too much about the state of your door. You got massive door frame that's going to cover up again a magnitude of sins, but that's come out quite nicely. It's a decent lump that, so save that in case you ever need to repair wallpaper on any of your walls. So we'll pop that one on the back in and we'll hold on to that, pop that somewhere safe. The next thing we're going to do is trim this section here. So all the way down. And we come across here. That piece off to there, and take this section out here. Now, there is one thing you might see that might bother you, but it's going nowhere. So don't get ahead of yourself. So this piece is going to trim out in here. There we go, that's that piece out. Now, if you're looking at this thinking, I've got to trim those out. No, you don't. Those are staying exactly where they are. So don't worry about those. Those are staying as they are. So now we have the water aerials room complete, trimmed, and again, don't worry about, oh, it's jagged or anything like that, right? Because you are going to be putting a door frame in here, a very ornate door frame, a very large door frame that's going to cover all that up. So don't worry about anything like that. If you start trying to, oh, I'll just touch this and I'll just do it this on, you'll make it worse. Don't do that. A door frame will cover all of it. So that's how we're looking there. Next, we're going to flip over and we're working on this side. Now, this is where things get a little more complicated. Not massively, but a little bit more. Because we don't have the benefit of having the easy guides of where this is going to go. So we have to get a little bit more creative with exactly how we are laying this wallpaper. So what we're going to do first is we have what they are calling the pillar, and this is basically a support beam. And if you're wondering what this hole is here, this is a good guide for you. This needs to be facing that way. The reason why is that is eventually going to have a magnet inside of it. So a magnet is going to glue into this hole. So when we put the front of the house on, it will hold by magnets. It's magnetized, it will hold in place. So what we're going to do is we are going to pop this one into here. That's snug, so I question if that's ever going to come out again. But that's where that goes. Now, with the Aristocats wallpaper, it is of a different size to the other wallpaper we were using. It is going to go on this way round. It's a very large panel to the left, and you can kind of see where the doorway goes in this. But we're not sticking directly to the bottom. We're not sticking directly to the top. We've got to get it in the middle. Now there are, excuse me, there are guidelines here. So if I show you the wall up close, you can see we have these guidelines here and here, here and here, then at the top as well. So we have here and here. There's a lot of trim that goes in the Aristocats room, which is why those are like that. But this is what we're going to do. So we've got to try and line this up perfectly, which is going to be a little bit more difficult. So let me prep the wallpaper and we'll give this a shot. Now, fortunately, that beam is going to work as a guide at this point. So the beam is going to work as a guide to how far along the wallpaper needs to go. But I mean, the Aristocats wallpaper, like I said, because that gold trim or something, it's slightly different. It's got different backing on it. It feels like a different paper. So it feels different. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess we're about to find out. So this one's prepped. There we go. And let me see if we can line this one up. Okay, so we need to get as close into this pillar as we possibly can. And then on those lines. So let's make sure I think we're good. I think we're good. Right. The reason why this is unforgiven is because those bloody squares on the wall will be quite telling if this doesn't make its correct bond. I think we're looking all right though. Got to go over that doorway, and that's where you're going to risk air bubbles. When you get there, hold. And there we are. That's exactly as I want it to be. Perfect. Okay, I'm happy with that. We've incorporated those lines in. I'm really happy with that. That went a lot easier than I thought it was going to. Now, they do ask us at this stage to take the post out, but you're going to have to, because we're going to have to flip this one over to trim that door out. I'm hoping, this post now comes out, because it was a tough job getting it in, and it looks like it's been an even tougher job getting it out. Right. Okay. Please stand by. Sorry about that, we got it, right? So if you have that same problem, once this is in, a wiggle, 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 bam, out it comes. So we haven't put any pressure on it, we haven't forced it, nothing like that's happened, so we're happy. So we're looking good. Next thing we've got to do is we've got to trim this. Now, again, I'm very conscious of how white this is. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be difficult because I don't want to, you know what I'm going to do? I'll show you what I'm going to do. Right. So taking backing paper, I'm literally going to cover it over as we turn this over to trim it, because I'm conscious of any sort of muck or anything getting on these very white walls is gonna show. It just is. So I'm gonna keep that one covered there. There we go. So when we flip over, we have a little bit of protection at least. I'm going to trim this door out. So along there. Up to there. Up. There we go. Trim the top piece. Yeah, it's not what I wanted. All right, okay. That is not what I wanted. This is what I say about pulling. It's that corner. That's going to cause me problems. So let's see if we can get that off neat. There we go. Whew. Right. Same again. We're going to come over here. We're going to trim this side piece off here. So we're going to come all the way down. And then just a side piece off there. And then that piece should hopefully come off, which it does. And now we should have, aha, our aristocats wall. So looking good. Happy with that. Happy. Right. So we're all trimmed up. We'll have a door going into here. See, that's what I was bothered about. But again, door frame's going to go on here. No one's going to see any sort of this. Don't go mad. I mean, honestly, if like you'll go nuts trying to over trim these things, and you really don't need to do that. I believe that is all we are going to do. Let me just make sure we don't trim that piece off. Yeah, it's asking us. Okay, so the last thing it wants us to do is this little piece here is going to be trimmed off. Let me grab the ruler and get that done. Okay, so that's trimmed. That should now come up, I hope. This this wallpaper feels different to the other wallpapers. I don't know why. I think it's got something sort of gold leaf in it. Okay, so that's that one done. That is that wall complete. Now, this beam, it says just to keep it to one side. I don't know why, because all we're going to do is just reattach that beam next month. It just goes straight back on. Now, I'm not going to glue it, but I'm putting it back in. But I'm not going to force it in. That's how we're looking then. So we have the Aristocats wall there, and we have our final aerial wall there, and we are happy. We are all done. And that is all there is to do in stage 64 of Hachette's Building Doll's House. Let's have a chat. So that's that one complete, and it's the only room that has me a little nervous, the Aristocats room, because that wallpaper is not going to forgive. And when you smooth the wallpaper with hands and things like that, I think the chances of putting a scuff or a smear on that very white wallpaper is high. Now, fortunately, a lot of the walls in the Aristocats room are actually covered by stuff. So the main wall is going to have the piano in front of it. So it will be a little forgiving. There are some pictures to go on the walls. The staircase is going to mask a lot of the back wall as well. So it's not, it's nothing to be too concerned about, but I just, if you can avoid getting it scuffed up, then, avoid it. That's my theory. We're not using that wall. Like I said, we're going to put all these walls in very soon. We're not putting that one in. That's not happening until next month. But I'll show you what I mean by I'm going to use it for support. That is all for this one. Thank you for stopping by. If you haven't yet, please remember to give us a big like on the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. We don't bite. We'd love to have you along for the journey. We're going all the way on this one. So even though the Doll's House stops at issue 120, there is an extension for Christmas and summer that takes it all the way to 200. And we are going all the way to 200. So if you would like to see that, join our journey. We're very friendly here. If you'd like to contact us, you can at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. Or if you've got a comment, pop in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you, and we do reply to everybody that sends us a message. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. I will be back really soon with issue 65 of Hachette's Building Izzy Doll's House. We'll be building more Aristocats rooms. I will see you then.